Hello there. Today I'm going to show you how to add custom bow with texture pack. I'll use my new bow as an example. Check it out. To keep this tutorial simple and concise, I will focus on explaining how the bow works in a texture pack and how to add as many models as you want to its charging animation. The bow item has a model for each stage of its charge. To assign these models, you need to use the range dispatch assignment type. What it does is simple. Just imagine a timeline on which it places models according to the amount of time the item is being used. By default, the bow has 4 models. 1 model for the base item when it's not used and 3 others for the charging stages. But you can change that number, which means that you can add models as much as you want in order to create a smooth animation. Now that we understand how the bow selects its models, let's move on to the practical setup. Let's say we already have 6 models for the bow, 5 for its charge animation. bow_pulling_0 to bow_pulling_4, and 1 when it's not charged. They are all saved in this location, Minecraft/models/item. Now we need to create the bow.json file in this location, Minecraft/items. This file will manages the allocation of our bow models. To create it, I use this website, GitHub, link in description. You should note that if you don't know how an item works, you have access to presets that can be very useful for understanding particular items. We can see that, by default, the bow works like this. If the item is used, then apply a range dispatch depending on the charging stages. If not, just take the regular bow. For our bow, we will start from this preset, add some cases, and change values. The content of this file will be in the description, but it depends on how many models you have for your bow. So a simple copy-paste won't work for everybody. In our example, we have 5 models for the charge. So we need 5 cases in the range dispatch. The scale parameter exists, but for this use case, you can safely ignore it. I tested it, and leaving it empty works perfectly. All you need to know is that using 18 as the maximum threshold works best for bows, so your models should be between 0 and 18. If you want the last model to reach exactly 18, you need to divide 18 by the number of charge models minus 1, since the first model is always at 0 and doesn't count in the calculation. For my example, with 5 models, knowing the first case is always 0, the second would be 4, 5, then 9, and so on. For the end of the file we can let it as it was on the bow preset. And that's it for our bow. I hope the explanations were clear. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments. Bye.